Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's English learning video. I'm so glad you're here. Do you want to speak English more confidently? Do you want to understand native speakers easily and sound more natural when you talk? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to practice a powerful technique called shadowing. It's simple and fun. You listen to my voice. You repeat after me. You copy my pronunciation, my rhythm, my feelings, just like an actor copying a movie scene. This method will help you speak more clearly, understand better, and think faster in English. But this is not just a practice lesson. Today, I'm going to tell you a true story. It's about a girl named Emma. She's young, smart, and full of hope. She is just like you. She wants to do something good with her life. She wants to help her family. She wants to find a job. But something very unexpected happens. She finds love when she least expects it. Are you ready to listen? Repeat and feel the story. Let's begin. My name is Emma. I'm 18 years old. I live in a small town in America. Last month, I finished high school. My parents work very hard, but we don't have much money. So, I decided to look for a job. I want to help my family pay the bills. I also want to save money for college someday. Every morning, I walk around town. I look for job signs in windows, but it's hard. No one wants to hire someone with no experience. Day after day, I go home tired and sad. I feel useless. I feel like I'm not good enough. But I don't give up. Then, one sunny morning, something strange happens. I'm walking down Main Street. I see something on the sidewalk. It's a brown leather wallet. I pick it up. I open it carefully. Inside, there is money, a driver's license, and a business card. The name on the license says Jake Miller. The business card says Jake's Coffee Corner. I look around. No one is nearby. I know what I must do. My mom always taught me to be honest. She says, even when no one is watching, do the right thing. So, I look at the address on the card. The coffee shop is only 3 blocks away. I walk toward Jake's Coffee Corner. It's a small, cozy place on the corner of the street. As I open the door, I smell fresh coffee. The air is warm and sweet. There are paintings on the walls. Soft music plays in the background. It feels peaceful. It feels special. Behind the counter, I see a young man. He has dark hair and warm brown eyes. He smiles as he hands a drink to a customer. That smile, it makes my heart beat faster. I've never felt this way before. I walk up to the counter. My hands are shaking a little. Excuse me, I say quietly. Are you Jake Miller? He looks at me, surprised. Yes, I am. Can I help you? I take a deep breath. I hold out the wallet. I found this on Main Street. I think it's yours. Jake's eyes open wide. He checks his pockets. Oh, wow. I didn't even know I lost it. Thank you so much. He opens the wallet and counts the money. Everything is still there. You're very honest. Jake says, most people would just take the money. What can I do to thank you? Would you like a free coffee? A slice of cake? I shake my head and smile. I don't need anything. I'm just happy to help. Then I pause, and I remember why I've been walking around town every day. I look into Jake's kind eyes, and I get brave. Actually, do you need any help here? I'm looking for my first job. Jake thinks for a moment. He looks around the busy shop. He rubs his chin. Then he nods. You know what? I do need help. My assistant quit last week. Would you like to work here? I feel like I can't breathe. Is this real? Did I just find a job? By doing the right thing? Really? I ask. Jake laughs. Yes. Can you start tomorrow morning? Yes, of course, I say, almost shouting. I leave the shop with a smile on my face and hope in my heart. That night, I tell my parents everything. They are proud. They hug me tight. It feels like the beginning of something new. And it was. The next morning, I wake up early. It's still dark outside, but I feel full of energy. I take a quick shower, put on my best clothes, and tie my hair back neatly. This is my first job, and I want at 6, but I arrive at Jake's coffee corner. The lights are on, and I see Jake inside, getting everything ready. He smiles when he sees me. Good morning. Emma, you're early. He says, I was too excited to sleep. I laugh nervously. Jake shows me around the shop. He teaches me how to make coffee, how to use the cash register, and how to talk to customers. There's so much to learn. But Jake is patient and kind. When I make a mistake, he just laughs and says, it's okay. You'll get it next time. By 8 a.m., the shop is full. People are lining up for their morning coffee. I smile and greet each customer. At first, I feel nervous. But little by little, I start to enjoy it. Some customers are in a hurry. Some like to chat. Some bring their dogs. Some bring their kids. Every person has a story, and every cup of coffee brings a little bit of joy to their day. Wait, Jake watches me closely. He gives me small tips. Remember their names. Smile with your eyes. Be calm. Even when it's busy, I try my best. And at the end of the day, I feel proud. You did great today. Jake says as we clean the counters, thank you. I say, I really enjoyed it. We both laugh. It's easy to talk to Jake. He's not just my boss. He feels like a friend. Days pass quickly. I work every morning from 7 to 11. Jake and I have small talks during quiet times. We talk about books, movies, and music. He tells me he loves mystery novels and old films. I smile. I love those too. One day, I ask him, why did you start this coffee shop? He looks thoughtful. My grandmother gave me the money. He says, she believed in me. I wanted to create a place where people feel at home. That's beautiful. I say, and you did it. This place feels special. Jake smiles. Thanks. Emma, that means a lot. After 2 weeks, I feel comfortable in the shop. The customers know me now. Some even ask for me by name. Jake lets me try making new drinks. He says I'm doing better than his last assistant, but something strange is happening. Every time Jake smiles at me, my heart beats faster. When he says my name, I feel warm inside. I think about him when I go home. I even dream about him sometimes. One morning, I look at him while he's making a latte. He's focused, calm, and confident. I suddenly realize something scary. I'm falling in love with Jake, but he's my boss. What if he doesn't feel the same? What if he finds out and it becomes awkward? What if I lose my job? I try to hide my feelings. I stay professional. I don't let myself look at him too long. But inside, it's getting harder and harder to ignore. Then one evening, everything changes. It's a quiet Tuesday night. The shop is about to close. Jake is counting the money. I'm cleaning the tables and humming a song. Suddenly, the lights go out. Everything turns black. What happened? I ask. It's a power outage, Jake says calmly. No worries. I have candles in the storage room. He walks to the back. I stay near the counter, waiting. Then I hear a loud crash and a voice. Emma, help me. I run to the storage room. Jake is on the floor. A heavy metal shelf has fallen on his leg. He's in pain. He can't move. My phone, no signal. I say, panicked. Jake groans. There's a backup key under the cash register. Use it to unlock the back door. I sprint to the counter. I find the key, unlock the door, and run outside. Across the street, I see a police car. I wave my arms and shout, "Help! Please help! My friend is hurt." The officer rushes to me. He calls an ambulance. Soon, the paramedics arrive. They carry Jake out carefully. At the hospital, the doctor tells me Jake's leg is broken. He will need surgery. He has to stay in the hospital for a week. My heart feels heavy. I don't want to go home. I want to stay near him. So, every day after work, I visit Jake. I bring him coffee and muffins. We talk for hours, even though he's in pain. He smiles when he sees me, and I feel something I've never felt before. I feel safe. I feel close. I feel love. It's been 5 days since the accident. Jake is still in the hospital, but he's getting better. His surgery went well, and the doctors say he'll be able to walk again in a few weeks. He just needs time to heal. Every day after work, I visit him. At first, I only bring coffee and muffins, but soon I start bringing books, music, and little things to make him smile. He always looks happy when I walk in, and every time I see him, my feelings grow stronger. One afternoon, I arrive a little earlier than usual. Jake is sitting up in bed, reading a book. When he sees me, he puts it down and smiles. "Hey, Emma," he says softly. "You're here." "Of course," I say. "I told you I'm not going to miss a day." He pats the chair beside his bed. I sit down and we talk like we always do, but something feels different today. Jake seems quiet. He keeps looking at me like he wants to say something. After a moment, he takes a deep breath. "Emma," he says, "there's something I need to tell you. Something important." My heart stops. Is he going to fire me? Is he upset about the accident? Is he going to tell me not to visit anymore? I nod slowly. Okay, I'm listening. Jake looks down at his hands, then back at me. That night, when the shelf fell, I was really scared. I didn't know what would happen, but then I heard your voice. I saw your face, and in that moment, I knew what? I whisper. Jake smiles gently. I knew that I love you. For a moment, I can't speak. Did I hear that right? I've loved you since the day you returned my wallet. He continues, your honesty, your kindness, you didn't ask for anything. You just helped me. Then you joined the shop, and every day you worked hard. You were patient, funny, and kind to everyone. I fell for you. Emma, completely. I feel tears in my eyes. My heart is beating so fast I can barely think. You love me, I ask, almost afraid to believe it. Jake nods. Yes, but I know I'm your boss, and I didn't want to make things uncomfortable. That's why I never said anything. But after the accident, I just couldn't keep it inside anymore. I reach for his hand. I love you too. Jake, I say, I've been falling for you for weeks, but I was scared to say it. Jake's face lights up. The biggest smile I've ever seen spreads across his face. We sit there in silence, holding hands, hearts full. When Jake returns home a few days later, everything feels new. We're still the same people, but now we understand each other better. We know how we feel. We're not just boss and employee anymore. We're something more. But we decide to take things slow. We want to make sure the business stays professional and that we can balance work and love. Jake says, love is like coffee. If it's too fast, it spills. If it's too slow, it gets cold. But if it's just right, it warms your soul. I laugh. That's the most Jake thing I've ever heard. We work side by side again once Jake can walk with crutches. The customers notice the change. They see how we smile at each other, how we laugh more, how the shop feels even warmer than before. 6 months pass. Jake and I are still together. We've learned how to support each other, not just in love, but in life. One morning, after we closed the shop, Jake calls me into the office. I have something to show you. He says, he hands me a folder. Inside, there are papers, school registration, course schedules, and payment receipts. I look up, confused. I signed you up for business classes at the community college. He says, you've been working so hard. Emma, I want to help you grow. I believe in you. Tears fill my eyes. But Jake, that's so much money. He shakes his head. You found my wallet. But more than that, you found me. You helped me run this place when I couldn't walk. You cared for me when I was in pain. Helping you go to college is the least I can do. I throw my arms around him. Thank you. I'll study hard. I promise. Jake smiles. I know you will. And it's someday, when we open our second location, you'll be the manager. My heart is full. This coffee shop gave me my first job, but it also gave me love, dreams, and a future. I look at Jake and say, you gave me so much, and I will never forget it. He takes my hand, and you gave me something too. You gave me your heart. Starting college was a big change for me. For the first time, I had to manage school, work, and a relationship all at the same time. It wasn't easy. Some mornings I woke up tired, my eyes heavy from staying up late with school assignments. Some days I rushed from class to the coffee shop, still holding my notebook and a cold sandwich. But every time I walked into Jake's coffee corner, I felt better. The warm smell of coffee, the familiar faces, and Jake's smile gave me strength. I took business classes, marketing, accounting, management. At first, I didn't understand everything, but I listened, I asked questions, and I practiced. At night, Jake helped me study. He quizzed me on business terms. He explained things I didn't understand. Sometimes we studied at the shop after closing, with 2 cups of hot cocoa on the table. One night, I was frustrated. I'm not smart enough, I said, closing my book. Jake looked at me. Emma, don't say that. You're one of the smartest people I know. But I don't get this. I keep making mistakes. He leaned closer. Mistakes are part of learning. Remember how you burned the milk on your first day here? I smiled. Yes. And I made the customer wait 5 minutes while I cleaned it up. And now, he asked, now I can steam milk with my eyes closed? I said proudly. Exactly, Jake said. You're learning. You're growing. And I'm proud of you. His words stayed in my heart. Over time, I began to feel more confident in school. I even started helping my classmates. One of them, a girl named Sophia, became my close friend. We studied together, worked on projects, and supported each other. It felt good to have someone my age to talk to about school life. One weekend, Jake surprised me. He said, I want to show you something. He drove me to a small empty shop on the other side of town. The windows were dusty, and the sign was old. This, Jake said, is going to be the second Jake's Coffee Corner. I looked at him, shocked. Really? You're opening a second shop? He nodded. And I want you to help me build it from the beginning. I stepped inside the empty shop. The walls were bare. The floor needed cleaning. And there was no coffee machine, but I could see it. I could see the tables, the lights, the artwork, the customers. I turned to Jake. I want to do this with you. So we got to work. In the mornings, I went to class. In the afternoons, I worked at the first shop. In the evenings, I helped design the new shop, choosing colors, planning the menu, training new staff. Jake and I became a team. We made decisions together. We shared ideas. We disagreed sometimes, but we always listened to each other. One night, as we painted the new shop's walls, Jake said, "I love working with you." I looked at him. Paint on my nose. "I love working with you, too." We both laughed. A few weeks later, we opened the new location. We had a big sign outside. "Grand opening Jake's Coffee Corner 2. Whoa, Wabin, Feitswelsen Vetsweitesakur." People from all over town came to visit. Sophia came with her family. My parents came and hugged me with pride. Jake's grandmother, the one who helped him start everything, sat in the front row with tears in her eyes. It was a perfect day. After the grand opening, Jake called me to the back office. "You've worked so hard. Emma," he said, "I have something for you." He handed me a small box. I opened it slowly. Inside was a name badge. Manager Emma Carter. My eyes filled with tears. "I'm the manager." Jake smiled. "You earned it. You're ready?" I hugged him tight. "I'll do my best." And I did. Every morning, I arrived early. I greeted the staff, checked the machines, and welcomed the customers. When problems came up, I solved them. When someone needed help, I gave it. I felt strong. I felt trusted. I felt like I belonged. At night, Jake and I talked about the future. We dreamed about opening more shops. We talked about creating a coffee brand, writing a book together, even traveling to study coffee in other countries. But most of all, we talked about staying together as partners, as friends, as a team. One night, after closing, we sat outside the second shop. The stars were bright. The town was quiet. Jake looked at me and said, "You know, Emma, this all started with a lost wallet." I smiled. "And now look at us." He took my hand. "I'm so glad you found it that day." I squeezed his hand, and I'm so glad I walked into your shop. Running one coffee shop was a challenge. Running two was a whole new world. Each day brought something different: new customers, new staff, new problems. Sometimes the espresso machine stopped working. Sometimes a delivery was late. Sometimes an employee called in sick at the last minute. But I didn't panic anymore. I stayed calm. I made decisions. I fixed things. Jake said, "You're not just managing a coffee shop, Emma, you're becoming a leader." That made me smile, but balancing everything wasn't easy. My college classes were getting harder. We started learning about business law, contracts, and taxes. I studied at night, sometimes until 2 in the morning. On those nights, Jake would leave tea on my desk with a sticky note: "You got this." He never stopped supporting me. One Thursday afternoon, while I was working at the new shop, a woman walked in. She was wearing a navy suit and had a tablet in her hand. She looked around carefully, writing notes. Then she walked up to me. "Are you the manager?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "My name is Lisa Raymond," she said, shaking my hand. "I'm a representative from the state small business program. We've been watching your growth, and we're impressed." I blinked. "You've been watching us," she smiled. "We support young entrepreneurs who make a difference in the community. You and Jake have built something special here, and we'd like to offer you a grant to expand your business." My mouth dropped open. "A grant?" "Yes," Lisa continued. "It's not a loan. You don't have to pay it back. It's a gift to help you grow. You can use it to open a third location, upgrade your equipment, or hire more staff." I felt dizzy. This was huge. I thanked her and promised to talk it over with Jake. That evening, we sat together in the office. I told him everything. Jake leaned bow. "A grant?" he said. "That's incredible. We could do so much with it." I said, "But it's also a big responsibility." He nodded. "It is, but I believe in us. We spent the next few days discussing ideas. Should we open a shop near the college? Or maybe one in the next town over? Should we create a mobile coffee truck? Every idea was exciting, but one night, as we walked home together, Jake looked thoughtful. What if we didn't use the grant for another shop? He said. I stopped walking. What do you mean? What if we used it to build something even bigger? Jake said. Like a training center? A place where young people can learn to make coffee, run a business, and follow their dreams just like you did. I looked at him, surprised. You mean help others like me? He nodded. Exactly. My heart felt full. I love that idea, I said softly. Over the next week, we made a new plan. We called it the Brew Academy. It would be a small space next to our second shop where we could teach young people basic barista skills, customer service, and business lessons. People who couldn't afford college or didn't know what to do next could come, learn, and find hope. Jake and I worked on the proposal day and night. I used everything I learned from school. We wrote a mission statement, designed a budget, and made a schedule for the first training program. When we sent it to the grant committee, I felt nervous. Would they think we were too young, too inexperienced? 2 weeks later, we got a letter in the mail. Jake opened it slowly. We had been approved. The grant was ours. We hugged and danced around the kitchen. It felt like a dream. We got to work right away. We found a small space to rent next door. We cleaned it, painted it, and filled it with chairs, tables, and a shiny new espresso machine. We created flyers and shared them around town, at schools, and online. The response was amazing. In just 1 week, we had 20 people sign up for the first class. On the first day of the Brew Academy, I stood in front of the group. I was nervous, but then I saw their faces, young, curious, hopeful, just like I was months ago. Welcome, I said. My name is Emma. I started just like you. No experience, no money, just a heart full of hope and dream. Their eyes lit up. And today, I want to help you start your journey. As I spoke, I saw Jake standing at the back of the room. He gave me a small nod. Proud, supportive, my partner. And in that moment, I realized something. Our story wasn't just about love or coffee. It was about creating something bigger than ourselves. It was about giving back. The next morning, Emma woke up feeling lighter. The kiss from last night still lingered in her memory. It felt like the start of something real. She got dressed quickly and grabbed her apron. It was going to be a busy Saturday at Jake's Coffee Corner. When she arrived at the cafe, it was already buzzing. The smell of fresh croissants, brewed coffee, and cinnamon rolls filled the air. Jake waved to her as he handed a bagel to a customer. Morning, Emma. He smiled, ready for another crazy day. Always, she grinned, tying her apron and heading to the counter. As the morning passed, Emma worked side by side with Liam. They exchanged small smiles, their eyes often meeting, sometimes lingering a second too long. Customers came and went, but for Emma, time moved differently when Liam was around. But then, something strange happened. Just after noon, a burning smell drifted through the cafe, not the usual toasted bagel kind. Emma looked around and noticed a small stream of smoke coming from the back hallway. Near the storage room, Jake, she called out. He came rushing out of the kitchen. What's that smell? Liam ran toward the hallway. It's smoke. I think something's on fire. Jake grabbed the fire extinguisher, and Emma called 911. Panic rose in her chest, but she forced herself to stay calm. Liam returned coughing, waving his hands in front of his face. The wiring back there is sparking. We need to get everyone out. Jake shouted, Here, everyone, please exit the cafe calmly. There's a small fire. We're handling it, but please step outside for your safety. Emma helped an elderly couple with their coats. Liam held the door open for the crowd, guiding people out. The fire department arrived quickly. They put out the fire before it spread, but the back hallway was badly damaged. Jake looked devastated. His face was pale as he stared at the blackened wall. Later, once the cafe was empty and safe, Jake sighed. We'll have to close for a few days. Maybe more. The inspectors will need to check the wiring. Emma nodded. But it could have been worse. No one was hurt. Liam looked at her. Thanks to you. That night, Emma sat on her bed, processing everything. The fire had shaken her. She realized how much she cared not just about the job, but the people, Jake, the regular customers, and, of course, Liam. As she took off her apron to hang it, something fluttered out of the front pocket. It was a note. She picked it up, curious. The handwriting was neat. A little nervous. Emma, I know we've only just started to get close, but I feel something real when I'm with you. Would you like to go out with me sometime? Just us. Maybe dinner. Liam, Emma's heart skipped a beat. She stared at the note for a moment, then smiled. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. Liam, hey, I hope you're okay after today. I left you something in your apron. If it's too soon, I understand. Emma quickly replied, Emma, I found it, and yes, I'd love to. She lay back on her pillow, a soft smile on her lips. For the first time in a long while, the future didn't feel scary. It felt full of promise. The next few days felt quiet without the cafe. Jake's coffee corner was closed for repairs, and the street where it stood seemed a little less alive. Emma missed the sound of the bell above the door, the clink of coffee cups, the friendly chatter of regulars. Most of all, she missed seeing Liam every day, but something else filled the silence: excitement. Their first real date was tonight. Emma stood in front of her mirror, holding up two different dresses. One was simple and blue, the other soft and cream-colored. She chose the cream one. It felt light, hopeful, like how she felt inside. Her phone buzzed. A message from Liam. Liam, I'm outside whenever you're ready. She peeked through the curtain. There he was, leaning against his bike, wearing a navy shirt and dark jeans. Simple, clean, handsome. Emma's heart fluttered. She stepped outside, and he looked up. Wow, he said, smiling wide. You look beautiful. Thanks, she said, blushing. You clean up pretty well, too. They walked together down the street, chatting easily. No rush, no nerves, just comforts. Liam led her to a small Italian restaurant near the park. The place was cozy, with fairy lights hanging from the ceiling and quiet music playing in the background. I've always wanted to try this place, Emma said, as they sat at a corner table. Me too, Liam said. I thought it might be perfect for tonight. They ordered pasta, garlic bread, and shared a big slice of chocolate cake. The conversation flowed like water, smooth, natural. They talked about childhood memories, favorite books, funny customer stories from the cafe. Emma found herself laughing more than she had in months. At one point, Liam looked at her and said softly, You know, I wasn't looking for anything serious when I started working at the cafe. But then I met you. Emma's cheeks turned warm. I didn't expect any of this either. There was a moment of silence, not awkward, but peaceful. He reached across the table and gently held her hand. After dinner, they walked through the nearby park. The air was cool, and the stars were out. They found a quiet bench under a tree and sat together. Close. I was nervous, Liam admitted. About asking you out, Emma smiled. I found your note right after the fire. It made everything feel okay. Like even something scary could lead to something good. He nodded. I've never felt this before. Not like this. They sat in silence again, the kind that speaks louder than words. Then, slowly, Emma leaned her head on his shoulder. I'm really glad I took this job, she whispered. Me too, he said. Later, as Liam walked her home, they didn't talk much. Words weren't needed. At her door, he kissed her gently on the forehead. Good night, Emma. Good night, Liam. She watched him walk away, her heart full. Something had changed in her, in them. It wasn't just a job anymore. It wasn't just a summer thing. This was something real, and it was just beginning. The next morning, Emma woke up with a smile on her face. The memory of the night before still felt warm. Like the last sip of a good cup of coffee, she turned over in bed and looked at her phone. No messages yet, but that was okay. She didn't need one to know things were good between them. Later that day, Emma received a text from Jake. Jake, the cafe's reopening tomorrow. You in? Her heart skipped a beat. Finally, she had missed it, the noise, the people, the rhythm, and now it would feel even more special. She typed back, Emma wouldn't miss it. That evening, she met up with Liam at the park. He brought 2 iced coffees and a small bag of pastries. I missed our break time snacks, he said. Handing her one, Emma laughed. I missed your bad jokes. He grinned. I've got plenty of those waiting. They sat together, watching kids play and dogs run. The summer breeze danced through the trees. Are you nervous about tomorrow? He asked. A little, she admitted. What if it doesn't feel the same? It won't, he said honestly, but maybe it'll feel even better. She looked at him, surprised by how right that sounded. Let's make a promise, he said. No matter what happens, we don't let work stress get between us. Emma nodded. Deal. They clinked their coffee cups like glasses. To new beginnings, Liam said. The next day, Emma arrived at Jake's coffee corner early. The front windows were clean and shiny. The tables were arranged perfectly. There were new flowers by the door. Inside, everything smelled fresh new paint, new polish, and, of course, fresh coffee. Jake stood behind the counter with a big smile. Good to see you. Emma, you too, she said. I missed this place. You ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Customers slowly started trickling in. Familiar faces. Regulars who smiled and said, Glad you're back. And I've missed this place. Emma moved like she'd never left. Making drinks, wiping counters, chatting with people, and with Liam by her side, it felt even easier. They shared little looks across the room, inside jokes, and quiet smiles when no one was watching. Mid-shift, Jake pulled her aside. You've really grown, he said. Since your first day. Emma smiled. Thanks. I think I've changed a lot. He nodded. That's what good jobs do. They don't just pay you, they shape you. She looked around the cafe and nodded. Yeah, they really do. Later, as they cleaned up after closing, Liam turned to her and said, This place, it's where we met. Where everything started. Emma looked at the counter, the tables, the old coffee machine that rattled a little when you used it. I used to think this was just a part-time job, she said, but it's more than that. He stepped closer. It brought me to you. And then, without needing to ask, they kissed? Soft. Sure. And full of meaning. It wasn't the kind of story you read in books or watched in movies. It was better because it was theirs. Emma woke up early the next day. The sun was rising gently through her window, and the birds were singing quietly outside. She stretched and smiled. Today felt different, not because something big was happening, but because something inside her had changed, she felt calm, confident, happy. Later that morning at Jake's coffee corner, things were busy again. But now, the busyness didn't feel stressful. It felt exciting. Emma moved through the cafe with ease, saying hello to customers, remembering their usual orders, and laughing at Liam's playful comments behind the counter. At one point, Jake walked by and said, "You two work like you've been doing this for years." Emma smiled. "Feels like we've grown up here." Jake nodded thoughtfully. "You kind of have." After the morning rush, Emma sat with Liam on their break. They took their usual spot outside under the red umbrella. The breeze was soft. Their iced coffees were cold. So, Liam said, "I've been thinking." Emma raised an eyebrow. "That sounds dangerous." He laughed. I've been thinking about what's next. For us, Emma sipped her drink. Yeah, I'm listening. "I've decided I want to apply to university," Liam said slowly. "For real this time. Hospitality management. Restaurant stuff, cafe stuff." Emma's eyes lit up. "That's amazing." "But there's more," he said. "It's in another city." Her smile faltered a little. "Oh, I don't want this to change anything between us." He added quickly, "But I had to be honest. I can't stay in one place forever." Emma looked at the sky. It was clear and wide. "I get it," she said quietly. I've been thinking about change too." He turned to her. I've started writing again," she said. "Short stories, poems. I didn't tell anyone because I didn't think it mattered. But now, I think I want to study creative writing." Liam's face lit up. "That's perfect. You're such a good storyteller." Emma felt her cheeks warm. "Thanks." They sat in silence for a moment. Not a sad silence, a thoughtful one. Finally, Liam reached out and held her hand. "We don't know what's going to happen," he said, "but I believe in us. I believe we'll figure it out." Emma nodded. "Me too." Back inside, the rest of the shift went by like a dream, but that evening, as Emma walked home, she thought deeply about everything: the cafe, Liam, her writing, the future. Sometimes life gives you a quiet push forward. It doesn't shout. It doesn't shake you. It just gently opens a door and waits for you to walk through it. Emma knew her time at Jake's coffee corner was not just a job, and it was a beginning. It was Emma's last official day at Jake's coffee corner. The air felt a little different that morning, not because of the weather, but because she knew this was goodbye, not a sad goodbye, a thankful one. The kind that means you've grown, and it's time to move forward. She tied her apron one last time, walked behind the counter, and looked around. There was the old coffee machine that hissed every morning, the chalkboard menu she used to be nervous about writing on, the cozy corner booth where she and Liam would sit during breaks, and the smiling faces of regular customers who had become part of her story. Liam walked in right on time, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "One for you," he said, handing her the one with extra cream. "Last shift coffee?" "Thanks," Emma said with a soft smile. "Feels strange, doesn't it?" "A little." He nodded. "But it also feels right." Jake gathered the team just before the cafe opened. "Today we say goodbye to someone very special," he said. "Emma, you walked in here with no experience and a lot of nerves. And now, you're leaving with confidence, friendship, and maybe even love." Everyone laughed and clapped. Emma blushed. Jake continued, "You brought joy to this place. You made it warmer, and you reminded us all that a job can be more than just work. It can be a place where life really happens." Emma looked around the room, tears in her eyes. "I'll never forget this place. Or any of you." After work, Liam walked her home. The streets were quiet. The sky was painted in soft orange and pink as the sun began to set. They stopped at her doorstep. "So," Liam said, "what's next?" Emma smiled. "College applications, writing, maybe a short story about a girl who falls in love while working in a cafe." Liam laughed. "I'd read that." They stood there for a moment. No need for big promises or dramatic words. They were both growing, and that was okay. "Hey," Emma said, "whatever happens next, thank you for being part of this chapter in my life." Liam nodded. "And thank you for changing mine." They hugged warm, real, and full of meaning. As Emma walked inside, she felt a mix of emotions: grateful, proud, and a little scared. But she knew something for sure. Life is like a story, and you get to write it one chapter at a time. And this chapter, it ended beautifully. Thank you so much for listening to Emma's story. We hope you enjoyed every moment and practiced your English along the way. Remember, with each story you hear and repeat, your English gets better. Keep learning, keep growing, and never stop believing in yourself. See you in the next story. Goodbye for now.